Hello and welcome to part 7 of the USMC AH-1Z Sharkmouth Helicopter 1/35th scale by Academy. And as I said in part 6, I was going to start painting, which I have done. And here we go. So I've got the coat of primer undercoat on here. And I let that dry. It only took about an hour, and then I did some black panel line pre-shading around. Sorry, my lines aren't real straight, so I hope this is going to be all right. But anyway, yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. A little bit wary of how it's going to turn out. But give that a chance to dry, and then I'll make a start on the base coat of the grey. I'm a little bit concerned about the undercoat. It went down and it's left quite a coarse texture across the whole thing. I'll put it down to, I was probably spraying a bit too far back and it was drying before it was hitting the model. So it has left a coarse texture over the whole thing. Not much I can do about that. I just hope the base coat goes over that a lot smoother. And after a few coats, well, what can I do? It should be all right. Anyway, we'll find out. So well, I'm going to keep on working on this, and we'll come back in a second and get an update. Back shortly. Okay, hello, welcome back. So I've done the base coat over the top, and from a distance it looks reasonably okay, but up close it's turned out a nightmare. The undercoat that I used dried like a sandpaper. I'm guessing because I was too far back spraying and the paint was drying too quick as it went on. So there was nothing I could do about that. So I thought, well, I'll just continue on and I'll do the base coat of the grey. And I've done the base coat over it, but that's not made any difference. It really, it's like when you put you can hear that. It's like 800 grit sandpaper, the whole model. There's also, yeah, it's come up pretty bad. You'll be able, if I bring it up close, you'll be able to see. There we go. Anyway, I've learnt a valuable thing, and that was I should have stopped spraying the undercoat when I saw that happening, and tried to sort the problem out. But I guess I rushed it. But anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the darker grey over the top to get that colour tone that the helicopter had. And then I'll do the clear coat before I do the decals. So if anything, it's just gonna look really, really weathered. You know, probably like it's been flying, you know, through a sandstorm in the Sahara Desert. Why not? You know. But anyway, It's all right. I'm not too discouraged. We'll push on. So then I'll do the clear coat over the whole thing and then start doing all the decals. Take the masks off, see how the canopy turned out. Pretty confident that'll be fine. And even the clear coat might make a difference. I'll do a gloss clear coat to get that surface as smooth as possible, although I really don't think it will make much difference. I'll use a lot of mark fit to get decals to sit down on this surface properly because it's going to be a bit rough. There's no way I can sand this at all. There's just too much rivet detail. So I can't try and wet sand any of this. It just wouldn't work. Yeah. All right. So while that was drying, and it still kind of is, I'm not going to do any more painting on that today. I did detail these up. So these actually turned out really well. I'm happy. So I've done a bit of panel line wash on some of the points here. See that? And got a bit of, panel wash inside the engine section there. Same with underneath here. And it came up really good. Pretty happy with all that. And yeah. So anyway, it goes on. Oh, I also did the rear rotor as well. I just did a little bit of a a bit of weathering on the bits of engine on that. Okay, so I'll get this other coat of paint done probably maybe this afternoon. It should be right to do that. And then tomorrow we'll be putting the clear coat. But for you guys, it'll be just a second. So I'll be back shortly and we'll see how it's progressed. Cheers. Okay, hello, welcome back again. So I've put the clear coat over the top of all of this, and I've also painted the black on the tail. So that's painted up, and it's still drying. And the clear coat is looking okay. So what I might do is probably put another clear coat on it tomorrow, and then after I'll do that in the morning, and then afterwards make a start on these decals. So I really want to get this thing looking good, and I want to get the mast off to see how our canopy survived under there. All right, so a little bit more progress. Yeah, that's all good. All right, I'll be back shortly. Hello and welcome back. So it's now the next morning, and I decided not to go with another clear coat. I think that's pretty much we're right as we are. I will do a clear coat after the decals are on, of course, but it's fine as it is. So yeah, this is our decal sheet. And, there's quite a lot. Most of these will be used. So we have the common decals, which the instructions are all of these and these. And then we have the specific ones for the model that I'm building. It will be the one here, August 2018 version, which has the decals for that, which is proper emblem, different tail numbers, so forth. So yeah, this will take a bit of time, I'd say. I do like doing decals. It's one of my favorite parts. I just like the way the appearance all starts to come together when the decals are going down. So these decals are quite good. They go on with no problem, as I found doing the missiles. and the rocket launchers for this. And yeah, so I'm going to make a start on this, and then part the way through I'll stop and we'll show you what progress is, and if I've come into any issues doing it. But as usual, I'll use the Mark Fit that does the job, and we've got a few little Q-tip cotton buds here to smooth things out. We've got the water, and a pair of tweezers, and we got some toothpicks for handling them with, moving them, positioning them, and yeah, all right, I'm right to go. So back in a second, we'll show you the progress. Okay, hello, welcome back. A bit of progress update here. So I've got just about all of the decals done on the right-hand side of the helicopter. I haven't started on the other side yet. They've all gone down okay. Looking quite good. From a distance, I can tell you up close, it's not so good. Yeah, because of the rough surface they've gone on, it's a bit difficult to stop them not silvering but reflecting lights, and they've gone on flat and they've gone on to the surface, but they've gone on to that rough surface. So I'm happy to show you at a distance, but not so happy to get too close up and show you. You know, I was getting a little bit discouraged for a while there. I thought, oh, I just didn't want to keep doing it really, you know. But then I realized if I step back and look at it from a distance, yeah, it's not too bad. So definitely not going to be entering it in any shows. But anyway, so I'm going to continue now and keep progressing along. I'm just adding a few little things as I go. There's bits here, there's a few lights that go on that I've kept till this stage to put on. I've also done the machine gun, all the decals around it. That was a little bit tricky, but yeah, they're going on okay. Or they're on now, but we're gonna let them set. So yeah, that turned out okay. You know, they're bending and shaping quite well. So okay, I will keep working at this, and be back shortly and have another look. Hello, welcome back. All right, so I've finished all the decals. It took me all day, but I'm pretty happy with it. They've all gone on well. I've just put these stripes on the rotor blades here. That was the last thing I touched up. On the helicopter itself, let's have a look. So we've got all the decals on each side. Come up okay. So it's a bit bright, that light. Maybe I can tune that down a bit, but anyway. So yeah, just trying to better view. Yeah. So I've just got to probably put the rotor on the rear tail, and I'll connect the engine up to it. So there's our little engine in there. Let me just bring this camera a bit closer, or we won't be so glary. Okay, that should be a bit better. So just have a look at that. And yeah, so that's come up okay. Now I will put the motor on the rotor, like connect those two, and probably fit that, This is ready to fit. Decals are all in there, so that just pushes up underneath. It doesn't need to be glued. Then I have, and of course, then we've got all the missiles and everything else to go on the wings. Yeah, so I'll be doing all of that, and then starting the weathering process. Okay, so I'm just going to put some of these things on, and we'll come back and have another look. 1 second. Hello, welcome back again. So here we go. Everything is on. Rotors are on. Decals are on. Missiles are on. Rocket launchers are on. All ready for weathering. So the propellers are just sitting there, so they're not stuck on. I probably won't stick them on because they're fine like that. But yeah, she's looking good. Straighten that up. And get that up and have a look. Here we go. So I'm going to start doing a bit of weathering. With such a bad paint job, it's not going to need too much. But you know, the usual bits of grease and exhaust marks and so forth I'll do. So yeah, a little bit to go. Okay, so back shortly. Hello, welcome back. So I thought we'd go through what I'm going to use for the weathering here. I'm not going to do a great deal of weathering, but I will definitely be using some panel line, Tamiya panel line color, just to highlight particularly the grills, photo etch grills that are around, and possibly some of the riveting. So I'll be using some of that. Also, Mr. Weathering color, I've got some stained brown. So not much in the way of brown, but just to give a bit of a different color, I'll use a bit of that in some of the engine areas and maybe around where the missiles are. But that'll put a bit of a stain there. Oops, sorry. There's also multi-black Mr. Weathering, also come in handy. But mostly it will be with the Tamiya Weathering Master and using the soot one on from this, and that will be from usually mostly using it around the exhaust areas, down on the back here where the exhaust comes out, leaves marks on this rear fuselage here, and just in little bits and pieces around the place where there might be a bit of soot. Obviously the snow won't be of use, and I doubt whether there'd be much rust, so we won't be using the rust. Okay, so I'm going to get on and start working on this, and we'll come back and have a look at the progress on this back shortly. Okay, welcome back, and we're finished. Actually finished. I took the masking off the canopy there, and it came off really well. Unfortunately, on this side here, there's a big white mark on the inside. I have no idea how that got there. Yeah, it's got me confused. The rest of the plastic canopy is fine. There's nothing. It's really nice. Just that one there. I don't know how that's happened. Anyway, fortunately, what I've done was when I glued these on, I used a wood glue. So carefully and slowly, I should be able to pry off that window and give that a clean up. So I just saw that in someone else's video of using a wood glue on the canopies, so it makes it easier to remove them later for cleaning if you need to. Anyway, but other than that, it came up quite good. So I did the decals on the blades here, a little bit of a panel wash on the where the joins are. Put a bit of marks from the exhaust down on the back here that come down out of here, and touched up a few with the panel line where the grills are to make them stand out a little bit. And yeah, it you know it looks good from a distance. Let's say that. Up close, the paint job is just terrible. I really messed up on that primer coat. I had troubles getting the air out without it drying. It was drying when it hit the model, and it just came up looking like, like sandpaper. It literally looked and felt like sandpaper, like 800 grit, worse. And then that messed up a lot of things. That affected the base coat going on, which made those dark areas where it's really grainy stand out even more. Although now from a distance, it looks like just weathering. It's okay. I'm pretty happy. The paint also, because I couldn't get a smooth surface, it also had an effect on the decals. A lot of these decals were difficult, if not some of them so small, it was like trying to glue, a sheet of paper over a rock garden. It just wasn't going to stick down. They are on, they are down, and unfortunately, where the bumps are and where it's not a smooth surface on the decals, you can see the light reflecting, which gives them a bit of a shiny appearance. What I may still do is give this, well, I'll give this another coat, clear coat, just to seal in all the decals and the weathering I've done, and maybe that will help it reduce the shininess of the decals. But again, from a distance, I mean, it looks okay. It's my first helicopter. It's my first aircraft I've ever built. I was faced with a lot of new challenges in this one. Well, I pushed on, and I'm happy. I've learnt a lot from this. And some parts I'm really, really happy with, some parts not so happy with, but that's okay. It's still going to go on my display, and where all but me will see it, like everything else. So yeah, that's it. I have a delivery coming of another model, which I'll be doing a unboxing and most likely a build, but that's secret at the moment. And that's it for now. So thanks. Please, your comments are welcome. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions or suggestions. I don't know what I could have done about that or what I should have done about that primer was to stop. I should have stopped when I saw it going on like that instead of continued thinking it would just level out. Yeah, that was a shame. But anyway, next time I will know to practice on a completely separate piece of anything I spray before it touches the model itself, so I know what my result will be. But that's what we're here for. We're all here to learn, and that's part of building models, is to learn. And yeah, and take on board all these ideas. Okay, so yeah, please comment below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thanks for sticking it out and watching this whole series. I really recommend buying this model and building it. It was definitely worthwhile. This, as you know, was the box. Just adjust the camera here for a second. There we go. So this was the 50th anniversary of the USMC AH-1Z Sharkmouth 135th scale helicopter gunship by Academy. Worth it. It went together really well. Like all the parts fitted really well, and had no issues at all. The decals were good quality. Everything went as good, and the instructions are easy to follow. No problems with that. I don't think I saw any mistakes in the instructions at all. A really, really good kit. Highly recommended. At least I can recommend it being a beginner. I don't know if this rates as something a beginner would start on. Maybe it's a little bit more advanced, but seriously, I think if I can do this, anyone can do this. Unless you're under the age limit they suggest. All right, time to go. And thanks for following, and give us a thumbs up, like I said, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notifications button. You'll get notified of all the videos I've been uploading. And I hope you'll join me in the next series that I'll be bringing out. Okay, bye for now. Thanks a lot. Cheers.